Hello everyone, I'm ExtraCrazy87 and this is Let's Play Miles is, now we are just actually just making stuff up. We have fully crossed over into the we just make stuff up for our cases territory. We're in the virtual universe. We're gonna prove somebody's a killer because the computer said so. And that's all we really need in life, right? You didn't recreate the weapon. Well, I can't exactly recreate something I don't know anything about. Just stare. Stare. So tell me, what were you hit with? The attack came from behind, so I have no idea. And I doubt it was someone's bare hands. Okay, well, where were you hit? I was hit on the right side of my head, just above the temple. There was a bit of blood, but it wasn't anything serious. Not when you're a super cool ace prosecutor like me. Ouch, sounds painful. Is that where you're making that weird noise when I found you? Why are you smirking like that when you say it? It's just your imagination. Now, let's see. I wonder if there's anything in the hallway that could have been used as a weapon. I'm looking for something the culprit could have used to hit you with. What? Oh, I thought I was gonna click on something.
Take that!
There was indeed one such object lying here in this hallway. A prop sword. Are you talking about this thing here? Yes, although we did find it at the kidnapper's hideout. Wait, yes, it's possible the culprit took it with him after using it on me. To leave no evidence behind, right? Correct. It also may be worth a more thorough examination yet. What test do you want to run on this sword? Well, test for blood, I guess. The culprit was wearing a costume at the time, so a fingerprint analysis is useless. Let's run a luminol test. It's possible that some of the blood found its way onto this. Agent Long, may I ask for your cooperation in this matter? Like I got a choice. Sheena, call the lab boys. No, what about... Remember when we reintroduced Emma and she got 4 fucking sentences? We could... This is her time to shine for science. Understood. Except for a dab on the left side, it would appear the blade is spotless. It must have been the left side of the prop sword that hit you then, right? Okay, I'll update the recreation with this new piece of info. I'm not gonna waste time visualizing it in my head, but presumably that means the hands have to be switched. I won't rest until I've inspected every single suspicious looking nook and cranny. Oh, the sword seems kinda... In the next instant, this badger will swing his left arm complete with weapon in hand. Yes, to club me with the left side of the prop sword. Seems kind of hard. Now recreate the moment of impact? I want to see the pain expression on your face. It would not be a real expression. It would be merely what a computer says I look like. And I will not let a computer define my life. No way, no siree. Maybe not. Is it just my imagination or something not quite right? Yeah, something's not right. His fucking hand. It's me. I have to say, it's rather embarrassing to see myself like this. It's not exactly your most flattering image, I will agree. You look kind of like, I don't know. What were you thinking about at the time? Bagels. I don't recall, but I would guess I was thinking about the kidnapping. And bagels. Really? Because I don't think so at all. Your face practically screams, I'm about to be conked over the head! If I had known that at the time, do you think I would have let myself be hit? Well, I don't know, maybe you're into that shit. Apparently, like, one of your friends has a whip? You know the Bad Badger's pretty bad looking when you see him up close. Yeah, I guess. What did you expect from a character named Bad Badger? And those sunglasses, wearing them in the dark makes him seem extra bad. Okay, Wesker. And now I'm lost. Which meaning of bad does she really mean? Well, do I want to be on the sword or do I want to be on the hand? I mean, I would hope that's close enough, but I want to be more on the... Well, here's the question. Do I present the hand thing or the sword saying right temple? Because I feel like the conclusion is the same, that it would have hit us with the other hand. But I don't know if I use the sword or if I use the dossier for it. Because I guess we want to use the sword. Which would then lead into the conclusion that, like, he couldn't have hit us like this, which leads to the conclusion that the sword was in the other hand. I think that's what the line of reasoning. Eureka! I found a clear contradiction of facts about this sword. Except for the bit on the left side, this prop sword is absolutely spotless. If the culprit had used his left hand, the blood would be on the opposite side. Opposite side, huh? I'll take your word for it. I can't really visualize it in my head. If the culprit held the sword in his left hand, then the sword's right side would hit. But the blood was on the left side of the sword, right? Correct. Which means that he used his right hand to hit you. What if he just hit it from, like, the other way? You know? This prop sword has such a large handguard attached to the hilt. It'd be impossible to hold it with two hands while wearing a costume with such big hands. Therefore, it couldn't be the left hand or both hands. It must have been the right. But, like, I mean, you could flip the sword. You know? I'll change the data to reflect a right-handed swing. Not yet, Kay. There's no sense in changing anything yet. If you change the parameters to the right hand, it'd only create a new contradiction. Change of the prop sword being the culprit's right hand would conflict with what? The frickin' gun. Wait. Do I use the gun or do I use the costume? I guess the gun. Or wait. Or do I use this? Ooh. My gut says gun, even though it doesn't say right-handed here, or it's in the right hand. I'm going to hope the game's going to give me the benefit of the doubt, but if it's wrong, then it's probably this.
Take that!
Okay. I wonder if you could. I mean, I feel like you should be able to use both. The bad badger already holds a gun in his right hand, so he can't hold a sword in addition. That would just be plain greedy. That's right. Then what now if it wasn't in his left hand or his right hand? It meant that the one who struck me could not have been the bad badger. You paying attention, Lance? Mr. Deacon could not have been the one who struck me? Which leaves only you as our primary suspect. Fine, it was me. I hit you. And I'd do it again if it wasn't for these handcuffs holding me back. It appears you lied to me yet again, but see how quickly they catch up to you, Lance? Isn't Lance left-handed? Ah, yes, that's what makes this deception all the more interesting. He used his right hand to make it look like Mr. Deacon had been the one to strike me. For you see, firing a gun with one's non-dominant hand is difficult. But that level of dexterity isn't required to swing a prop sword. Okay, please input this new data. The one who hit me from behind was Lance. Or should I say, the Proto-Badger. Proto-Badger? I suppose we should start calling you Proto-Incarcerated, Mr. Lance. Because soon you will be in prison. Now we have a faithful recreation. It's totally faithful. Totally faithful. There's no fucking way this could be wrong. Now we have a faithful recreation of the situation around the attack on me. All I have to do is examine this new recreation and... Brother, this is some dumb shit. This will not hold up in a court. Hey, this actually probably, in universe, it probably would hold up in a court of law, which is fucked. But... Mr. Judge, I know I don't actually have any evidence, but I got this computer simulation that shows him totally doing that shit. Isn't that pretty cool? Don't you want to send him to prison for the rest of his life? And what exactly is so funny, Agent Long? That amusing little gadget sure patches a punch, right, Sheena? Yes, it was all I could do to hold my laughter in. Hey, don't make fun of little thief, you mean old werewolf. He and Mr. Edgeworth bring out the best in each other. You've had your little fun, but now it's my turn. I've sat quietly by, listening. The crude conclusions you two keep spewing off don't whet this wolf's appetite. There's no guarantee your tour will always show the real situation. Okay, at least they're mentioning it. That's also part of the reason why I'm so tilted. Is everyone's just fucking going with it. All it displays is whatever information you put in there, right? Yeah. Kind of a conflict of interest. Well, I mean, when you put it that way, your suppositions are wrong. It's not your fault, so I'm gonna let you in on this. There's a trick to this haunted house. What may it be exactly? It's haunted. Ghosts did it. Ghost criminals. From the ancient centuries. We need a paranormal investigator. A trick beyond which your tiny imaginations can produce. Sheena! Here you are. I can't read this shit, Sheena. Now then, what you missed, girly? Also, you not, that's copyrighted? That's my damn patent? It's written right here in this pamphlet. The 7 Wonders of the Haunted House, the Disappearing Badger. What is this? I'd say someone around here is fond of theatrics. As you can see, they set a doll down at the end of this hallway for that purpose. Basically, the blue badger you saw was just a stupid doll. How can this be? Your Gatewater Land is full of mystery. See if you can find and experience them all. Is doodad die for our friends? Can the blue badger and proto badger arrest the bad badger in Gatewater Land? You can come and watch. Maybe? Something like that. Guess that throws your whole theory about it being your attacker right out the window. That can't be right. Maybe the culprit hid behind the doll somewhere. And then he laid down and pretended to be it instead? If the criminal couldn't even hide himself in the hallway, how could he hide a giant doll? You get it now, thanks to your presumptions. Your logic started off weak and led you to the completely wrong conclusion. Would you stop making that noise? Now get off your high horse. Mr. Edgeworth. Alright. It's time to do it rightward. Activate some sort of psychic paranormal attack to get them to confess. Something like that. He was always pulling all sorts of fucking crazy tricks like that. Hit him with the mind blast. Okay. I wonder if you could please input the new information for me. You don't know when to quit, do you? I can't quit, not until I can declare that I've found the truth. Agent Long, for the additional information, you have my thanks. There you go again. We'll see if I care. Alright, I'm updating the recreation now. I feel like the old man would have like a fucking fit. Because I'd be having a fit if they, you know, brought out the damn computer simulation to prove I was guilty. Looks really weird. Look at how it changes from the blue badger into the proto badger all of a sudden. The slumped over badger was just a doll. Where was my attacker hiding? That's what we're gonna find out, right? So come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. I mean, couldn't the badger have just been, like, the one that wasn't a person been moved, you know? Or it was in a different spot? This recreation can't be right, which means there must be a contradiction somewhere. Ah, this guy. He's definitely too devilishly good looking to be conked on the head, right? That's the contradiction. It's a replica of myself. You're totally oblivious to what was behind you, huh? Yes, I suppose I'm also to blame for what happened to me. No, you're not. That's not how that shit works. Don't victim blame yourself, weirdo. It was incredibly dark, which was all the more reason I should have been more alert. I vowed to never be caught by surprise again. How many videos do you think that'll last until he goes again? Have you noticed anything worthwhile? I have no obligation to talk with you, but it'd be pretty cool if you did. I'm fine with just a little thief in solving this case. That toy, it's very well made. Haha, that's because it's the heart of a noble thief, Yatagarasu. Okay, that might not be something you want to advertise to everyone. No. So Shina, what exactly is the source of this extra dimensional-like space? I believe this is nothing more than a projection from that girl's toy. So it's all an illusion, right? Yes. Hey, don't treat this like some sort of silly light show. Thanks for letting us use, Little Thief. Long as he says, reject not those who seek the truth. So keep in mind that I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing this for the truth. Don't worry, I understand. We may have different methods, but our wish is the same. I can't believe what I'm seeing, sir. This space that I'm standing in, it's like something out of a crazy dream. I had a dream once, Mr. Edgeworth. Except this isn't a dream. This is something K's gadget. That's exactly what's like a dream, sir. I've never been so impressed. It's a damn miracle. Someone sure is easily impressed. I'm so glad you like it. Oh, so this is a product of your gizmo? Now I wish I had one too. Well, once this is over, I'll let you play with it for a bit. If you want. Oh, if I could only create a universe where Mr. Gumshoe was on top. Oh man, there would be a whole lot of changes coming. You do that for me, pal? Alright, thanks. Let's wrap this case up already. I just fucking arrest somebody. It's times like these that I wonder if they understand the seriousness of the situation. You can lie all you want, but it'll be for naught, Lance. As soon as I expose the truth, you will be placed under arrest. How can you do this? After all my dad has done for you. What your father has done for me is unrelated to the charges you face now. Unbelievable. You know, you sound kind of like a bully right now, Mr. Edgeworth. If I'm not serious about this, we will never understand the true gravity of his crimes. I will not allow him to remain a child forever. Yeah, now you sound like a dad. Miss Pops, from my hand I will prove your innocence in the murder of Mr. Deacon. Therefore, please don't fret. It will soon be over. Do you not trust me? That is... Your face is all beet red, Miss Pops. I can't. I have Lance. Lolly, don't tell me you like that guy more than me. That's... Why am I so pathetic? I'm so easily swayed by even a single glance. What exactly is going on? I think you have another guilty person in your hands, Mr. Edgeworth. Miles, my boy, what is the meaning of this? Where the hell am I? Do you plan to pay me back for all I've done for you with the conviction of my son? Yes. I have not forgotten my debt to you. However, your son's crimes are a separate matter. Further, I can't ignore the truth when it's right before me. You will regret this, I promise you that. No matter the outcome, I never regret the choices I make. Never? Like even when you were like a villain in the first game, kinda? You take a look around, it almost feels more like a House of Mirrors. Like, I mean, you'd almost get a lot of people sent to prison forever. And probably did in the past. I mean, considering your your miss rate in the first game. Let's be real. You probably sent a good number of innocent people to the old slammer. Indeed, who has ever heard of this many mirrors inside a haunted house before? At least you know this is the real crime scene thanks to these mirror shards. These shards, something different about them. Oh? The ones he found earlier are thicker than the shards in the mirrors on this wall. And look, there's some sort of design on the back too. The pieces in the costume are certainly different from the other mirrors. What does this mean? Could it be that our pieces are not pieces of these mirrors? Okay. Maybe it wasn't the dang. Well, presumably the mirror in the place is the one that got smashed. But the mirror would still be from here. It just got moved? It's the proto-badger who struck me. I suppose I should really say that it's Lance. Oh, you gonna get him back? I need not resort to violence, and the lawsuit I plan to bring to court will suffice. Really? Because I would totally have decked him right back. If someone steals from me, I steal something from them. If I get hit, I hit them back. They send one of ours to the hospital, we send one of theirs to the morgue. You know, Mr. Edgeworth? If I get paid, I return the money. That's a secret to how a great thief works. The third statement doesn't seem to be of much benefit to her survival. Pieces of a set of armor in a pile here. Why do you think they always have sets of armor inside haunted houses? Do they? I can't really say. I've only been to like 2 haunted houses in my life. Maybe 3. I remember going to one as like I was too young for it. And it did scare the fuck out of me. Because I was like maybe 3 or 4. And there was like a part where like some hands came out of the wall. Or some shit. And I was like, no fucking way. Alright? No shot. And then I went to one that was like a little bit older. And I was like, this is kind of like whatever. And then maybe another little bit. Like, I don't know. I know I've been to at least 2. But maybe 3. I suppose the sort of interior design is meant to bring out a sense of abnormality. Why do all your explanations have to be so hard to understand, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm trying to explain it again, but this sounds so that even a thief like me can get it. That may prove to be a most difficult task. This is where the proto-badger shows up in our recreation. Yes, now the question is, where did he come from? And then, where did he go? Yeah, but there's no place to hide in our current model. Must be an inconsistency somewhere. I wonder, hasn't Dom inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny? This blue badger is just a doll for use in this haunted house. I bet the one who killed this blue badger was the bad badger, right? According to the Blue Badger Bible, it says that they are each other's worst enemy. I mean, it actually doesn't say that. It just says he's a vile criminal with a gun and he's an ally of justice who keeps the peace. You know who really keeps the peace, though? The fucking bad badger, you know what I'm saying? He keeps the fucking thing on him. All because one's an ally of justice and the other's a vile criminal with a gun? Perhaps they are just destined to battle each other. Much like the Steel Samurai and the Evil Magistrate. Okay, what can we deduce from this? Oh wait, do we have any logic pieces? No. Is there anything we can deduce right now? Are those the eyes of a blue badger or a proto badger? They look like the eyes of a blue badger. They are the eyes of a blue badger. Only one of the 4 wandering throughout the park. The disappearing badger. Seeing is believing. Well, if he disappears, maybe he doesn't show up here, okay? There's like a little crack in a thingy. I mean, that looks exactly the same. There's a window there. I mean, the background's the same and everything. I mean, I feel like it doesn't really matter, but... Okay, let's go the other way. Maybe we need to deduce something or logic something before we have the evidence. Oh, well, let me go further. Well, that is a bit of a problemo, as they say. Say anything, girly? Okay, how is Little Thief? Totally fine, I'm recreating the crime scene. All that's left is more info. But you know, I can't believe I'm replicating a haunted house. And we're talking about the fate of $1 million. Pretty exciting stuff. I can't say I understand what is so exciting about the recreating a crime scene. In any case, I believe this is very probable that the murder occurred at this place. And if I can prove that, then we will finally arrive at the truth. What are you waiting for? Let's get to investigating. You believe this gadget will provide us with the proof we need? Of course, pretty neat, huh? Inputting info like this, we can recreate the crime scene exactly as it was. Although Little Thief was originally intended to be a training sim for heists. A training sim for thievery? I don't believe I can turn a deaf ear to that, Kay. Such a narc. It's for practice, practice. It's not like I've actually stolen anything yet that you know of. So we're in the middle of an investigation, so stop nitpicking. Even if it's just practice, I can't exactly endorse the act of stealing. Although, admittedly, this device is rather useful in an investigation. How am I supposed to use this to aid my investigation? Oh, that's right. I guess I should explain how to use it, huh? Don't you just walk around. Objects outlined in yellow are things that are not present in our time but were in the past. Things outlined in a dotted line are things that exist now but didn't in the past. I see. You can examine and interact with replicated people and objects as you normally do. You can even present evidence when you find an inconsistency. And be sure to point out mistakes in the recreation with evidence, too. Continue with the investigation. If there's something you don't get about Little Thief, feel free to ask me anytime. What can we deduce about my man, the Blue Badger? The Blue Badger. The Blue Badger. The Blue Badger. Badger. Man, I know it says there's only one, but it says one wandering, you know? Very thick and has a design on the back. The Blue Badger. I don't really even know what I'm looking for. So he's the Proto Badger, but then in the simulation, no, he's still a Proto Badger. So where could the Proto Badger have been if this is the Blue Badger, if this is the disappearing Badger? And that's what I don't even really know what I'm looking for, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I just feel kind of lost. The secret trick. The secret trick. But also I just feel like I'm missing something. Like there's something I'm supposed to have interacted with that I didn't. back. Okay, that was nothing of importance. It's just a doll. I mean, I'm getting no real hints or anything. I have no clue. Because the only thing that's new are the mirror fragments and the update to that. What about that is wrong? The 7 Wonders of the Haunted House. The Disappearing Badger. I mean, he disappears or something. I don't know. Is it? This is a complete contradiction to this piece of evidence? Maybe it's not in complete contradiction. Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, which is it? I was like, there's no way that's right. There's something wrong with this scene. That much I know for sure. Maybe it's just a trick of the eye. That can't be a trick of the eye. Trick of the eye. A trick of the eye. Maybe that there's only one of them. Hold on a second here. There's something... Really? Something wrong with this blue badger? The way the belt is on him is opposite of how it should be. Oh, is it? Oh. Left or right. But in the pamphlet, that's what it looks like. So maybe this one, that's just how you know this is a different one? Yeah, because it goes, makes a V like that, and this makes a V like that, and this makes a V. That can't be. I inputted the image data exactly as it was in the pamphlet. Then why is the blue badger dressed up in reverse? Okay. I don't really know what to do with this information. Is in reverse to the regular blue badger? But why? There must be some sort of explanation. I mean, this is the only thing I have. It's in reverse and there's mirror shards. Okay, do you remember what you said earlier? What I said earlier about what? About how this building may as well have been a house of mirrors. A house of mirrors? Oh, that would explain the reversed or mirror image. Yes, this blue badger might be nothing more than a reflected image of a real one. I guess. What? But in the... Oh, okay, so I guess you're saying that's what the real thing is it's just a... What? Then was the blue badger you saw just a reflection? But what was it reflected on? When I looked down this hallway, I thought it was perfectly straight. However, if there was a mirror... Okay. Oh, then it would actually form an L shape. Precisely. I was deceived. The hallway was almost pitch black. And there was a beam in the way that obstructed my view of the other hall. If it was pitch black, how are you going to see the freaking mirror? How's it going to reflect like that, man? And you'd be able to see it. Why would build a place like that? It sounds pretty pointless to me. Okay, this house is another attraction at the amusement park. They created a mirror wall for the very specific purpose, one I can point out to you. This was the reason they built a mirror wall. I don't know, because it fucking disappears, brother. It's as it's written on the pamphlet. The main draw of this attraction is the mystery of the disappearing badger. You mean they built the mirror for that trick alone? But you said you saw the badger, so it was definitely still there. That was true at the time, however. Doing this allows someone to make the blue badger disappear in a flash. I don't know, if there's no light, you can't have a reflection. All they'd have to do is dim the lamps. That's how it's done? If it was completely dark in here, then you wouldn't be able to see the badger anymore. Yeah. Wait, hold on, that's completely pointless. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to see anything at all, not even where you were going. Is that a bad thing? Well, it is if it negates the point of the attraction. Okay. Doing this allows someone to, I don't know, you move the mirror wall? To move a reflected image, simply move the mirror. Oh. First, the mirror was constructed so that it could be moved. Then, beyond where the mirror was, an empty hallway had to be created. So when they wanted people to see the blue badger, they would open the mirror? And when they wanted to hide it, they simply had to close it again. Yeah, sure, maybe. That explains that the other side of these fragments have a design on them. Yeah, if the pattern's the same as the other walls in this hallway, then when the mirror is closed, it would blend in with the rest of the walls. This is the mirror trick the haunted house employs. And this also proves the existence of a hiding place for the culprit. How so? Think about it, Kay. There was a place that was outside my field of vision.
Take that!
Oh, no, somewhere around there. Not sure how you kept out of sight by standing here. What the fuck do you mean? You mean to say even a great thief like yourself couldn't hide here? He's... Unless you mean like maybe you mean here. Okay, whatever.
Take that!
There was a very large blind spot, one I could not see beyond, and it was here! If my assailant hid on the other side of the movable mirror, then you wouldn't be able to see him. Didn't even need to do anything to the blue badger doll. Exactly. All you had to do was wait for me on the other side of the mirror. Hold on, I just thought of something. Yes? Shouldn't the mirror wall be broken right now in reality? Since we have a few shards of it, we can probably assume it is. It most definitely is broken. The question is, when was it broken? Since we found these inside the victim's costume, that would mean the victim was there when the mirror was broken. That sound. Shit.
Leave the money and go now!
The sound I heard was most definitely the sound of a mirror breaking. Okay, I'd like you to input some new information. First off, make me taller. Don't scare me like that. Sorry. I need you to recreate something for me. Whatever you need, so what do you need anyway? If you could recreate the hallway just before I entered the dining hall? I believe this is how it was right before I entered the dining room. Man, this is taking like a long ass time. I thought we were like kind of close to the end of the case, man. And then I went inside. And it was then that I heard the sound of a mirror shattering. You heard what? Then? Yes, I believe it was then the mirror was broken. Okay, so then when you stepped outside and into the hallway again, the mirror wall should no longer exist, Kay. Please recreate that. Got it. With the mirror gone, the culprit lost his hiding spot. Where did he go in his proto-badger suit, Mr. Edgeworth? That's easy enough. With the mirror gone, he simply hid himself in the branch hallway. That's what I said! The fuck? I think this about wraps it up. Looks like we finally solved everything. I mean, not really. Not yet, and an even larger contradiction has now reared its head. Huh? Perhaps you did not notice? This recreation contains a very troubling inconsistency. Yeah, go and tell us, Seiji boy. The inconsistency between what I saw and the recreation lies... Honestly, I got no fucking clue, brother. Well, I mean, when he looked, he still saw the badger. Like, you could... So that would mean the mirror was still in effect. Or the badger had been moved to be here. Because we could still see it. It wasn't like it had disappeared.
Take that!
Here! You sure that contradicts what you saw? Well, that's something even I must look into a bit more. What? If even you're having a tough time, but like... Didn't you mean what you just said? Thank goodness, it would seem she failed to notice my slip-up. The scene I saw before me and what's being presented in this recreation... There's something that was on site that isn't in this recreation! I mean, there's the suit of armor. Doesn't have the sword in it, but we've already kind of accounted for that. I mean, we didn't see the assailant, I guess. But I mean, that's what I was going for.
Take that!
Here? You sure? Okay, I was like, that shouldn't be right. I have no... Do they... We see the window. I don't know, there's like a thing right around here. Okay. I mean, presumably they want us to click on, like, what... So the mirror wall is broken, right? In reality, it's broken. So in theory, we shouldn't be able to see them, which is what I was getting at, but...
Take that!
Okay, take a good look at the end of the hall. There's no blue badger. That's what I was trying to get at by clicking on the badger. The blue badger I saw in reality is not here. Like... This is the final point in this long chain of logic, the last remaining contradiction. So let me get this straight. When you came out of the dining room, so we did all that just to establish the thing that we already thought, which is that he was just sitting there waiting for us. You saw a badger, right? And that is precisely... So, I mean, I guess that's like to disprove the whole trick thing, that it couldn't have been the disappearing badger, it was the real badger, so we were right in the first place, basically. Which is fine, but it kind of did drag a little bit. Something that shouldn't exist was there before me. Who or what do you suppose it was? I believe this is the real identity of our mystery badger. Oh, I can't present people? This is the real identity of our mystery badger.
Take that!
The badger I saw was in actuality the dead victim's body. What? Agent Long, the entirety of my complete logic is my final decisive piece of evidence. The murder happened in the hallway of the haunted house at the time of the drop-off. But isn't he supposed to be in the bad badger? Or was he like not in costume when he got murdered? Is that what we're saying? Because like I clicked that, but it doesn't really make much sense. Like based on what we have established, which is that he was supposed to be in the costume, but I guess he wasn't in the costume yet. Is that what we're gonna argue? You can consider the moment I heard the mirror breaking to be the real time of death for Mr. Deacon. No! Maybe it was due to their fighting, or perhaps it was the life-shattering bullet. But no matter what the cause was, the hallway mirror wall was broken. Like, you heard the glass shattering, but you didn't hear the gunshot? You were in the house at the time, right? You tell me you missed the sound of a gunshot? There were a variety of sound effects playing at the time, all for theatrics, I assume. Gunshot must have blended right in. Kind of a weak fucking thing to say, partner. Yeah? Now then, I'd like you to recall something for me. Who was it that was with the victim at the haunted house? Who was the one who had the opportunity to rob the victim of his gun and use it on him? It was you, Lansamano! Really, I wish the music would change when we do this. I'm sorry. It's not like I had a choice. Oliver turned on me all of a sudden. He snapped and turned violent right after I hung up with you. I mean, that is still the main mystery, is why kill him. He shoved me to the ground and straddled me. I fought back as hard as I could, grabbed his gun, and I shot him. The bullet must have went through his body and shattered the mirror. If I hadn't taken his gun and shot him first, I would have been the one you found. So in that span of time, you shot him. And he had to have been he was in the Bad Badger because it's got the bullet hole in it. So you stripped his ass and put him in the Blue Badger costume and then fucking moved the Blue Badger Seems like there really wasn't enough time to do all that. He's a hardened criminal. He escaped from jail. That's justified self-defense. Our boy's only trying to protect himself. That remains to be seen and will have to be resolved in court. Agent Long, I'll leave the rest to you. Yeah, as if you were the one in charge around here. Guys, arrest these two and get them out of my sight. Point! I had nothing to do with the murder. I mean, he's got a point. Only person you should be arresting is Lance. Dad, oh. Sorry, but you're not slipping away that easily, Mr. Ernest Amano. You tampered with the evidence so you could cover for your son. What a great dad you are, willing to risk it all, truly touching. I mean, did he tamper with the evidence? I mean, we don't have any proof of that. I mean, all we know is that he, you know, found the stuff and then they said they had the fingerprints on him, but like, we don't know that he planted her fingerprints on the gun. Because she did admit to handling it. By the way, you know why I'm really here? How could I possibly know the answer to such an asinine question? You wound me. I came all the way from across the sea just to see you, you know. You came to see me? Really? What's that supposed to mean? I got a few things to ask you, Mr. Amano, about a case from 10 years ago. A case from 10 years ago? Yeah. What's the name you use here for that case? Sheena? It's known as the KG-8 incident, not the KG-8 incident. The KG-8 incident? You remember it. Good. You recall the trigger in that case was the Amano Group scandal. Specifically the charge of an internal smuggling ring. Smuggling? There's that word again. At the time, the person that was arrested as the ringleader was Mr. Amano's very own secretary, Mr. Colin Devour. Father! Even though you pushed the crime onto your then secretary, I always suspected you were involved in the smuggling ring, Mr. Amano. Mr. Devour was arrested in place of you, which is why when he broke out, you hid him from the police, right? You hid him in exchange for his silence on your little dirty secret. Now. Please calm down. I honestly got no idea what you're talking about. Pretend to be ignorant all you want. We're taking you down to the precinct anyway for a nice long chat. What the? Would fuckers stop yelling hold it when I'm doing my thing? I'll take him down to the precinct if you don't mind. What the fuck is going on? Who the heck are you? I'm Jacques Portsman. I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Has this been a prequel this whole time? Jacques, thank goodness you're here. Don't jerk me around. Okay, I guess actually I think I do remember them saying at the very start that this was something that happened earlier, maybe. That this was like what started it? Okay. I kind of vaguely, because I think I like, then they said that and I didn't really process that this whole thing was supposed to be a prequel. This is an Interpol case to keep your paws off my suspect. Sorry, I can't comply. I got the backing of the prosecutor's office. In this country, we prosecutors work at the police to bring cases to court. So if you could please cooperate with me here, that'd be great. Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? I hate prosecutors, the whole lot of you. Arrest the two suspects. Sir! Almost forget. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, is it? I'd like to thank you. Thank me? Yeah, for working so hard to fulfill my goal. Hey, is that any way to thank someone? What the heck is that supposed to mean? You were so relentless with the land that you forced Ernest to tamper with the evidence. Thanks to that, I finally had a legitimate reason to arrest him. How does it feel to bite that hand that feeds you? The hand that feeds me? I'm not sure I follow. Yeah, who's pretending with me? You're the one, right? You're the corrupt prosecutor that's working for Mr. Amano in the smuggling ring, right? No. I would not do that. What the heck? My intel's never wrong. Well, nobody knows who it could be. Probably not that guy who just showed up out of nowhere and tried to save his ass or nothing. In your prosecutor's office, there's definitely someone working with the ring. Agent Long suspected my relation to Mr. Amano. That must be the real reason behind this antagonistic attitude. Ah, I was puzzled. How could anyone ever hate me? I'm, well, me. On top of that, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? He was a real piece of shit. And like, come on, we all know, Mr. Edgy Boy, you definitely got a lot of innocent people arrested. I mean, sent to jail. There were non-stop rumors flying around about forged evidence with that guy. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors too, are you? The courtroom is a place where the truth is revealed. Yeah, don't worry. It's not only you. A whole lot of you can't be trusted. Prosecutor never lost in 40 years. Every defendant must be found guilty. Fueled by that kind of thinking, it's any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies. Yo, he's actually kind of spitting. It would seem his disdain extends beyond just me. Prosecutors, the courts, why is this man so angry with us all? I mean, you guys, if the defense attorney says the wrong thing a couple times, you just say, fuck it, he must be guilty. Or the client must be guilty, no matter what stage of evidence we're at. Rest assured, next time we meet, I won't be so forgetful. So don't you forget it. Please wait. Agent Sheena. Why does Agent Long hate all prosecutors so much? Long is the head of the long-honored House of Long in Zhengfa. The heads of all police-related divisions in that country were of Long blood. Were? What do you mean by that? Aren't they still? They were revered, but that was long ago. They don't hold that sort of sway anymore. I mean, I don't think one family should be running every police division. That seems kind of fucking sus. It was all because of the courts. How can that be? A prosecutor once withheld and tampered with the evidence of one of the Long detectives found. That evidence's purity was tarnished and cost the Long family its honor and trust. But not all prosecutors are like that. Even so, Long will never respect the court again, or any prosecutor. Agent Long is a man who hates all courts and is unwilling to forgive prosecutors. Yeah, but like at the same time, should one family be running all the police? What a piece of work that guy is. Come on, Jimbo. Better catch up. Yeah. I'm here. We still gotta deliver that thing to the old man after all. You know, that thing, ... Detective Gumshoe, I believe it's time we wrapped up and headed out ourselves. You going home, Mr. Edgeworth? No, I've done nothing but be entangled in one mess after another since my return. If it's alright with you, can you drop me off in my office? No problem, sir. I'm still a little confused on the timeline. Was the second case a prequel? Was like, does it go second case, third case, first case? Or does it go third case, first case, second case? Or does it go third case, second case, first case? Because it did feel like this flowed out of the second case, but obviously it has to be, unless dude just got off and now he's back to being a prosecutor again. And resurrected his dead pal. Seems a little unlikely, but crazier things have happened in the series. Yep, what is it? Thank you very much. That's okay, no need to thank me, pal. Edgeworth, also, by the way, this whole case didn't make any damn sense, right? Like, they didn't actually solve or conclude the real reason for why the ransom was set up or the murder. Because it doesn't even seem like it was a situation where the kid came up with the ransom as a way to get money from his dad that he wouldn't get. Because, I mean, the dad clearly is willing to, like, risk his neck for the guy. So he would have given him the money for the debt regardless, so there doesn't seem like there was any actual reason to set up the kidnapping ransom situation. No need to thank me, pal. Just doing my job as a detective. The only thing I could think of is that the whole situation was just fabricated as a way to kill Colin. But, like, seems like there's easier ways to do that. And even that doesn't really make much sense. And it makes, like, a little sense, but I'm not, like, convinced of it or anything. Guess I was fooled pretty badly by Lance. Oh, cruel fate. What's a woman to do when she's been hurt by the one she loves? And to think I never realized my father was right there. I never said anything to him. I'm a failure. Ah, there she goes again, talking to herself. Miss Pops. I wonder if you know why your father participated in the kidnapping? I got no idea. Your father died while he was trying to stop Lance, which means that from the beginning, he had no interest in the staged self-abduction. Then why did he... I believe it was because of your presence, Miss Pops. Me? Lance realized that two of you were related, which is why he used you as a hostage to coerce Mr. Duroy into cooperating. Father. As a felon, he could not tell you of his real relation to you. However, as the Amano family butler, at the very least he was able to watch over you. It was all he could do, but that was the shape of his overflowing love for you. But like, still, why do the kidnapping thing? And then why suddenly attack guy? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Go on, speak your mind. That is... Thank you very much. You're welcome. Although there's no need to thank me. No, Lauren, stop. I mean, this man's so much older than you. So much older. Despite his looks, Edgeworth's actually 45. It says so in the official art book. Looks like you've completely stolen her anyway, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to go, sir! Your technique's way beyond the level of a great thief. What are you going on about this now? Wow, your deducing skills may be sound, but you have no street smarts. That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. Yeah, I mean, he still hasn't figured out who I am at all. What? You haven't remembered in all this time. I guess I'm just gonna have to say it. This isn't the first time we've met, you know? I'll take your fucking word for it. What do you mean, pal? Mr. Edgeworth, how do you know this girl? Looks like you totally forgot me too, Gummy. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to know or if this is like a segue into another flashback. Because I got no clue who the girl is. Gummy? Maybe this will jog your memories. Promise I'd return this to you one day, remember? That single piece of cloth took me back far into my past. To that fateful day 7 years... Okay. I don't know shit about what was going on 7 years ago. When I first met the then child, Kay. Still child, as far as I'm concerned. And Detective Gumshoe. Okay, so it's another flashback. We got flashbacks on top of flashbacks on top of flashbacks. Before you know it, we're gonna be at the founding of the fucking universe. Alright, overall, that case felt way messier than the first two. Main benefits, character interactions are pretty good, but I feel like the actual, like, crime and everything was much weaker than, the first two. But I do like Kay. Emma coming back felt kind of weird. There was not enough for like a character who was like as big as she was in her previous case. Having her show up and say like 4 lines felt a little whatever. Like, I mean, she had like less lines than Old Bag, so that was kind of underwhelming. Like, she felt like extremely underutilized. I do not like the little thief thing. In the very first time it showed up, I was kind of okay with it. It felt like a little silly, but it being used as like a way to visualize something, to like understand a crime scene better, that kind of makes sense. But using it to like, we're gonna recreate a place that we haven't been to try and definitively prove something seems kind of ridiculous. But it being like a way to 3D visualize, like, hey, we think the killer's here, or something like that, like the way it was used in the stage area, felt better than the haunted house thing, where it's like, we're gonna use it to pretend we're at a place that we can't go. But alright, we will we'll call it here. We get to see young Gumshoe before, back when he actually made minimum wage. Should be fun. But that will be next time. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.